That is the sound of the jar of names. Get out a name. So this video is for everyone, including, but not excluded to, Spudley Dudley 85. Right then, so this is a cup of tea and a podcast. This is the cup of tea. And this is the podcast. Right then, so if you want to head down to the comment section, you could probably find, if it's there, might not be yet, you can find my skip list. That's the wrong list I'm looking at. You can find the skip list and you can skip to this week's update, this week's topic, this week's TV time, this week's question and this week's goals. But let's go on to update. So then, what is going on in the update? Not an awful lot. We are still unfortunately behind because I suck at life. And this holiday is just very busy. I've had like one day where I've been able to do stuff and it's been horrible. So please bear with me. We'll talk more about goals, about all this sort of stuff later on. But yeah, that's about it for the update and everything. Not really much going on. Topic now then, let's go on to the names. So the next few names that you're going to be seeing from the videos, we're going to see this right here. This is a podcast. That's what you're listening to right now. But then after this, you'll see an Assassin's Creed 3 video, which I'm currently editing. It's called Christmas Elf, and this should be out fairly soon after this podcast because it'll be rendering tonight. You'll probably see this early morning. So later on in this day, probably about 12 o'clock maybe in GMT, it'll be out. And then after that, you'll have a Dishonored video, which I would like to edit today, but I don't think it's going to happen. So that'll probably be out. I'm not sure when I'm going to put these out. Probably, if I aim to have all these videos ready for the 20 on Monday, because I don't really want to put them out on Christmas Day, because I don't want to be that mean. So what I might try and do is I might try and get them all up and ready so that on Monday morning, bang, 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 I can upload them all at the same time, like I did that previously. So I might try and do that. So maybe Monday then it will be Dishonored, called Rat Lab. If you know the story, you know the sort of side quests, you know roughly what we're going to be doing. Then also on the next day we'll be having, or maybe the same day, we'll have an Assassin's Creed 3 video called Errands, because we complete some errands. And then we'll have a Dishonored video called Looting Thugs, which is quite funny because we are looting the thugs, but they are also looting thugs themselves. And then we've got a very good episode of Assassin's Creed called Historical Treasures. I like historical stuff, and I love treasures, so I love that episode. Yeah, we basically find some historical treasures in the terms of Captain Kidd. And then we'll have 2 pointing episodes this week. Was only going to be one, but we've got 2 because I'll say why in a second. But one of them is called Valley Forge Pointing for Assassin's Creed, which I haven't actually filmed. Ooh, we'll have to do that. And then we've also got another pointing episode called, it's a Dishonored one. It's the first one, and it's called Lab and Distillery. And basically this is new because I'm going to take away the episode number for pointing episodes from Let's Plays starting from Dishonored. And I'm just going to call it like Dishonored Pointing, but Dishonored dash Pointing dash wherever we're getting the books from, which in this case is Lab and Distillery. So that way it sort of helps to separate it more from the main playthrough. Let me know what you think about that. I think it's a good idea. Let me know what you think. I won't do it for Assassin's Creed though. I'll start from now on in different Let's Plays. But yeah, that's that. What else is going on? That is it, I think, for the names and stuff. Yeah, obviously hints we don't need to talk about because we're not doing that until I'm caught up properly. But obviously you can tell it's Christmas video going to be next. But right, let's go on now to the TV time then. So I've been watching a few TV shows, not many. Vikings, I've caught up with everything actually, which is all pretty good. The 4-night crossover for the Flash and Arrow was pretty decent. I liked it, I enjoyed it. Bit cheesy, but you know, you expect that from this sort of thing. And the other thing that I've been watching is Vikings. Interesting thing about Vikings, every so often they like jump ahead in like a large amount of time. They did that recently, and it's actually really cool. It's a really nice way to sort of do a series because it refreshes it. Like you got to get used to all these new characters because like you know these characters, they were children before, but now they're like really old. So it's like you got to get to know them, and it's like, oh, that's quite refreshing. It's like restarting a new series in a way. And I find it actually quite interesting, a little bit jarring as well, but quite interesting at the same time. Right, community section now then. So let's go on to Mention Monday. So these are the people that commented on last week's video since the last podcast. So welcome everybody to commenters to the comment section. That makes no sense, but I'm going to say that anyway. So this week we welcome. I'm jumping ahead. So this week we say thank you to these people: Spudley Dudley, One Soul Eater 1, Horia, Dommel, and Max Ravage. Yeah, so thank you very much, everybody. Great to see you all around. 40k Warrior Man was also about, but he was on some older videos, so he's catching up. We'll see you when you're caught up. But yeah, thank you very much for commenting. Right then, Q&A then. One question this week from Horia, who says, name that movie. A man with cancer brings people to his house to play games. My question to you is, do you want to play a game? Because I saw what he did there. It's Saw. I like the first one. I don't think I've seen the rest of them, but I'm not a big fan of the rest of them, I don't think. I think I prefer the first one. I like that. It was more dark and gritty. Horror, but not quite my sort of horror. Like, I don't like jump horror stuff, like Paranormal Activity, but I liked that. That was cool. I liked it. Cool. It's more gory than horrorish. Subscribers now then. Yeah, so who do we welcome to the community this week? Well, we were at 1,257 subscribers last week. We have gone up by 0, and we are still at 1,257, but we must have lost 2 because we've got 2 new names. We have Defender of Fireness and Wellington Borgahesi. So welcome to this community, my friend. If you have a favourite Saw film, which one is it? Mine's the first one, because that's what I like. Okay, let's move on to questions. And so last week's question was, what mythical creature is your favourite? We have some answers. I thought this question might be popular, and I think it is. Spodley Dudley says Minotaur because he learnt about it back in school, and the Minotaur's a good old classic. Everyone loves a good Minotaur. One Soul Eater 11, which is probably 11. I didn't see the one the other time though. Says the Kraken because it sounds cool to say, which I agree. It's also fun to say release the Kraken. And then Horia says his favourite mythological creature is Typhon, who is the father of all monsters, which I did not know about at the time. And he says he kind of wants to see him fight against Godzilla in a movie. Possibly. I don't think they probably would though. I've seen pictures of Typhon when you said it because I wanted to see what it was like. I feel like it's too out there for Hollywood, I think, but maybe not. But yeah, he looks interesting. He had like Hydra fingers because he's like obviously the father of all monsters, so he's got parts of all monsters on him, I think is what it was. Perhaps, I'm not too sure. You know what this thing's like. I'm not a Hollywood producer. I don't know if they could, but I think it's probably a bit out there. But I would like to see it too. Okay then, so let's go on to this week's question then. So this week's question is, what do you know about the ancient Egyptian creation myth or / story, depending on your faith? Who is ancient Egyptian? I don't understand. I don't probably know one. Yeah, but what do you know? Because I've been trying to find out about it, and I found like some stories, but then it's weird because Ra is apparently like the big god. Apparently he was the first god or something, but then he's also called Assum or something, but then other ones say that Assum was first, and they don't even mention Ra, and it's really confusing, and it's like, ugh. So I just wanted to know what you thought, if you knew anything about it. I know, obviously, like the mythological creature thing, I think this might be a popular question, so I wanted to see what your responses were, see what you know, because I know people like that sort of things. Anyway, let's go on now to this week's comment. This week's comment goes to Max Ravage, who says, "Silly JD, your mana regenerates only when the part of it is faded, not completely drained black." Yes, this was in Dishonored. I was worried. I thought my mana regenerated because I saw it regenerate at one point. But apparently you explained it to me, which was very helpful. I actually used it a lot when I was filming the weeks to About to See, because obviously it was in my head. Not to say that other people haven't been helpful with Dishonored. Horror is another one. But this one in particular was the more important one because I was using it much more in the coming episodes. And unfortunately, I forgot to credit you. I said, I'll have a look by the end of this episode. I forgot. I said in the next one, I forgot in the last episode. I should probably do that. I think I know who it is, but I don't want to get it wrong. So I was going to double check. I still didn't. But I knew it was Max Ravage. I should have just said it. But yeah. Thank you, Max Ravage. It was very helpful. Anyway, now then, let's go on to goals. Last week's goals were to catch up by Thursday. Failed. Sort of. The other one was to start finish quarter four planning. Sort of failed. It's out on Friday early Saturday, but I still class it as Friday. I mean, we kind of did it in a way, I suppose. Not really. No, we didn't. We failed. Utterly failed on that one. And the other one was to do some more finish quarter four planning, which was 2 episodes, which were the Christmas video and my birthday video. I planned the Christmas video poorly though. I feel like I planned it poorly, which is, I don't like that, but hopefully it'll work out. but I haven't done the birthday one yet, so I've only got one more left, but that's all right. I'll get that done probably after Christmas or during Christmas. We'll find out. We'll obviously find out in the next podcast. Okay, but what's this week's goal is to catch up by Tuesday. I think this can happen. I've got this podcast that's going to be out today. The next one's ready to render, where we'll be by the end of the night. And then I've just got to make sure I get everything else ready and rendered and ready to upload for Monday. I've actually deleted a load of footage off my camera, off my computer. So I've got a lot of space now, so I can render everything out, all the week's videos, so they can all be ready to go. So that's good. So that's hopefully what I'm going to try and do this week. Yes, that's that. Hopefully it'll happen by Tuesday. We'll find out. Hope so. It's my goal. Anyway, outro now then. Let's finish this cup of tea. Where is it? It's hidden behind all my stuff. Right. So I don't know how short this video is. About 11 minutes long? Maybe. We'll find out then. But what was the film last week? We could say WTF. So what the film? What was it? It was King Kong, I believe it was. Yes, it was the... he was a king and a god in the world he knew. Yeah, King Kong. Right then, cool then. But yes, now I shall say until the next time we eat, farewell. Hopefully everything goes well this week. Have a very good Christmas. I'm about to record Christmas video now. There's 2 this week, actually. 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. About to record the morning one. Right then, that's it. Right then, okay, so I'll leave you with what film? And it is... Marty, we've got to go back. Back to the future.